So I want to talk about a book called Math Curse, and it's written by Scieszka and illustrated by Lane Smith. And John Scieszka has written several other books that I've heard of before and that you can use in the content classrooms in interesting ways. They're not just super straightforward, but you can find just a unique twist with each one of his books. So like one of them is, I think it's called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. And it's written from the wolf's point of view, which is really neat because we always hear it from the perspective of the pigs. So in that book you can use it to talk about the different perspectives that an author going to have or their bias. So I think that's really neat. This book is called Math Curse, and it's about this young boy who believes his teacher has placed a math curse on him because he thinks of everything as a math problem, which his teacher said he could do, that you can think of anything as a math problem in life. And so when he starts doing that, he kind of freaks out and thinks that he has a math curse. So I want to show you some of some examples. I take the milk out of my cereal bowl and wonder, how many quarts in a gallon? How many pints in a quart? How many inches in a foot? How many feet in a yard? How many yards in a neighborhood? How many inches in a pint? How many feet in my shoes? I don't even bother to take out the cereal. I don't want to know how many flakes in a bowl. Mrs. Fibonacci has obviously put a math curse on me. Everything I look at or think about has become a math problem. And I think that portion is really cute because he's just discovering, he's just woken up and getting ready for school, and that's one of the things that he's finally discovering, that he has a math curse, and he continues going on his day, and every subject he goes to at school, like art and PE even, don't give him a break. He's just continuously thinking about everything mathematically. And then he comes to this point where he pulls out his money, and this is my favorite page in the book. I think it's just really fun, and I love all of the illustrations, which is kind of why I wanted to read it this way and let you see the illustrations. So in this part he says, I pull out my money. I have a $5 bill, a $1 bill, a quarter, and a penny. George Washington is on both the quarter and the $1 bill. Abraham Lincoln is on both the penny and the $5 bill. So, which is true? A, 1 Washington equals 25 Lincolns. B, 5 Washingtons equals 1 Lincoln. C, 1 Washington equals 100 Lincolns. Or D, 1 Lincoln equals 20 Washingtons. Don't forget to show your work. Extra credit, how do you think Thomas Jefferson feels about all of this? And I think that is just really fun, and spoiler alert, they're all true. I did the math and thought about it, which is just super fun. If I was using this in a classroom, I would definitely do that. Have my students tell me which their favorite parts were and kind of go back and look through that. Or if I'm recommending this to a parent or another teacher, which I totally would, especially if they have students that are in like older elementary or early middle school years, I would have them, I would recommend this to them because they can have a really fun conversation about math with their students. If their students are struggling with math and not wanting to have any part of it, or not thinking it's fun, thinking it's boring, whatever, I think this book would really help them in that because they can see how much fun math can be. And it's just kind of a silly book, and obviously not everything he thinks makes sense, and some of that can be part of your discussion too, because I think he asked like how many feet in a pint or something silly like that in the first excerpt I showed you. But we want our students to think mathematically and to think logically, and that goes along with a lot of faith integration too, because when we think mathematically, we look logically. We think about having proof. We think about, does an argument make sense? and we want our arguments when we're explaining how to do a math problem, when we're explaining anything that we think or believe, we want it to make sense. And which is really cool because God has created a world that does make sense. We can explore it and we can see, even if we get really intricately into a math situation, we can see the just intricacies that God has created and that our world makes sense and He's created it that way for us to explore, which I think is really cool. So that is Math Curse. I definitely recommend it. It's super fun and really kind of gets you thinking in a new way about math.